My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Welcome everyone to the Curious Universe. You must see this amazing guest I have with me today, Betsy McLoughlin. Thank you so much for being here, Betsy.
Hello, thank you for having me. And
So
I love the name of your podcast, The Curious Universe. It's a wonderful, wonderful name.
thank you. It was funny because trying to find a title and someone had asked me, what's your favorite word right now? And I'm like, well, curious, because I was just like really starting to get curious about the world. And then it all just kind of came together, and it's in the curiosity that I think we really find what we're capable of and who we truly are. So
Love
Betsy,
it.
yeah, thank you. Betsy has been a longtime friend. She is also an Access Conscious certified facilitator, like myself. She creates magic within Access. Like the list is long. We'll put details below of all the magical things that she does and that she creates in the world. But today, Betsy, we were talking a little bit before, and we want to explore magic with bodies. And I know you have a really cool story. Well, probably a few stories about your body and discovering the magic there, and maybe even some tools of how you've engaged with that. Could we start there? Could you just share a little bit about your story, your magical body?
Oh my goodness. I have had such a journey with my body, and I have gone through like hating my body, feeling like what the hell, like dragging it around, being very resentful that I couldn't just eat everything that I wanted to eat, because I gained weight very easily, and a lot of judgments that I projected at my body over the years, a lot of self-hatred. And I turned a lot of the self-hatred to my body. And so, like looking at it long term, what that actually created was not joyful, not fun. It created a lot of different physical issues with my body as well. And it was just like a lot of pain. I had cancer. I had several surgeries, just a lot of different things. And I was like, this isn't fun. And, so through playing with the tools of access consciousness and learning that there actually is a different way to be with your body, and it doesn't have to be this thing that you just drag around and resent, when there's a problem. I learned so many different ways of thinking, like through energy work and through questions and tools, that you can actually create something very different no matter what's going on in your world with you and your body at any particular point in time. So it's been an amazing journey of a discovery of the magic that our bodies actually are. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. You said so many.
Yeah, I know.
One thing that really actually like touched me was when you said self-hatred and you directed that at your body. Because
Yeah.
I myself experienced a lot of that even as like a youth. I did cutting. Isn't it
Mm,
interesting that we will have something about us that we hate, and then we punch
yeah.
the body or we direct it at the body? So how did
Yeah.
that change for you? Like, how
Mm.
are you able to pivot out of that?
Wow. Great question. And it really is like, this isn't, I don't want to do this anymore. And like the depression and the pain, and there's like, it, if I'm going to keep living, then like I've got to change all this. So I'm sorry, I forgot your question.
Well, I think you were touching on it, and it's
Right.
like changing where the self-hate, did you change the self-hatred first, or did you change punishing your
Mm,
body first, or did it all kind of come together at the same time?
mm, wow. Um, Gosh, I've never looked at it like that. I would say it was kind of, it was looking at, all right, what can I change?
Hmm.
Because I knew I wasn't happy. I knew that so much had to change. And innately, I also knew how much of that I was shoving in my body, like literally and figuratively through extra pounds that my body did not desire, as well as like stuffing emotions, stuffing the hatred, stuffing the judgment, stuff like, and it was okay, are you going to continue down this path of basically a very slow suicide? Or are you going to do something different? And I was like, okay, let's try something different. And in that, like learning that there are other things possible no matter where you are. And I had a lot of extra pounds on my body, a lot, and a lot of pain and discomfort, and where it felt insurmountable. You know, when you have over 300 pounds to lose, which I don't know what that is in kilos, but
No,
it could be more than two people's size, you know, like, and it's like, how the hell, like, number one, did I get there?
right.
You know, and number two, how do I get out of it? And so there were many years where I was just on an automatic pilot because I thought, I can't change this. I've done everything in the book. Nothing's working. My body's failed me. I suck. I'm horrible. You know, all those things. And then it's like, okay, well, maybe there actually is something different possible. And in that, playing with the possibility of something different and realizing that it's everything that I've talked about so far, it's actually so much more connected than I had any clue that it was. You know, are you right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking, well, if I just do this diet, then everything will be perfect and wonderful, and my life will be peachy keen. And, life isn't, that's not reality, right?
Yeah, I'm almost picturing like a sweater, and you're like, oh, it's just this little thread. I'll just pull this,
Yeah.
and it's like, whoa, everything's
Yeah.
unraveling, and yeah.
Yeah.
So was that? I mean, first, it sounds like you made this powerful demand. You're like, am I going to
Mm. Yeah.
continue slowly killing myself, or am I going to change this? And you're like, I'm
Yeah.
changing this.
Yeah.
Um, and then you started to having to pull the threads. Is that kind of,
Yes.
and did through that pulling of the thread, you must have, or I'm curious, like,
Mhm.
did you start to reveal the magic of your body? Because you're going from this, I can't change this, everything sucks, this is like impossible, to like, oh, I did change this, and I changed this, and I changed this. So
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah.
And the magic of our bodies and what they can show us, like whether it's overcoming a debilitating disease, changing, there's just so many things that our bodies actually show us all the time if we're paying attention, you know? And so I started learning how to have communion with my body instead of always being angry and feeling like it's this thing that I'm dragging around, to like, asking things like, what kind of communion could I create with my body? And asking those kinds of things. It's like, hey, body, show me. Show me the magic that we actually are. Show me what we can create. Show me, whether it was with my own body or with other people's bodies. And you look at all the magicians in the world, like right now, I'm seeing a lot of ads for Simone, oh, what's her last name? The gymnast who is coming back after taking some time off for some emotional things that she wanted to get, the Olympic gymnast, right?
Okay.
And she's going to be, quote, the oldest gymnast ever to compete, like if she wins, like, and looking at the things that she can create with her body, like you see her doing all these things up in the air and you're like, holy moly, and you see so many people who create magic with their bodies. And it's like, okay, how do they do that? And what do they know? And so even tapping into that kind of magic where it may seem impossible today, but what little step can you take that can start, as you use that analogy of like to start to pull the thread to having something else be possible where you've decided it was impossible. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's so beautiful. So for you, because I mean, I've seen some of your transformation, and I'm sure there's so many things I don't even know about, and others don't know
Mhm.
about, just your own personal body
Yeah.
that's been going on. Um, and so those, like, what small step could I take? Those are
Mhm.
great tools. Were there any other, like,
Mhm.
actually, before we go on to that, I want to highlight this one point you said. You said so many of us look for that one answer,
Yeah,
and was part of your journey giving up looking for that one answer?
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I kind of laugh and I'll say it as a joke, and it's also very true. If you want to know about a diet, I probably could give you information on it.
Because you've tried it.
Yeah, I've done it. I've tried it, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and it's so, yes, I was looking for the magic pill, the magic formula, like all these things. And then, it was a great recipe for setting myself up for disappointment. And then when I had the disappointment, it was like, well, why the F should I even bother? And then I would go back to the stuffing of my feelings and my emotions, and then the weight would start coming back on. So it was like this constant up and down, up and down. And it's like, God, and then it's like started thinking, oh my gosh, body, I am so sorry. And when I started to say things like that and have communion and communication with my body, that's when things really started to turn for me.
Ooh. Okay, talk
Yeah.
more about that, because I think
Yeah.
some people kind of are starting. I think more and more people are opening up to communication with body, but for other
Mhm.
people, I remember when I first heard about it, I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm talking to my body. My body is me, like,
Right.
so yeah, can you share a little bit more about, let's just start
Yeah.
with the communication piece?
Oh, sure. It's like, okay, if would I treat my beloved puppy dog the way I treat my dog, my body? No. Would I treat my best friend? Would I treat my son like this? It's like, no, then why are you treating your body like this? And it's like, oh, okay. So if I was going to speak to my body the way I would want somebody to speak to me, what would I change? I'm like, oh, okay. How do I speak to my loved ones? What if I start speaking to my body that way? So, and I really don't do this anymore, but there was a long time when I talked about the self-hatred, where it was so much directed at my body, all the things I hated about my body. And I could give you a long litany of all
Oh,
those things, right? And it's well, if you're going to continue harping on that, you're forgetting all the things that you actually enjoy about your body. So I started flipping that switch of like, okay, what could I love here? Yeah.
wow. And I think that's such a powerful tool, even if you're in those like you could feel like a dark moment or that like
Mhm.
frustrated moment. You're like, okay, but what do I love about having a body? And it could be just anything. It
Yeah.
could be like, I love the taste of cake. And if I
Yeah.
didn't have a body, I wouldn't taste cake. It could be that one
Yeah.
little thing. I love the feel of the sunshine on my face
Yeah.
and start to like flip it, like you said. I think that's a
Hmm.
really powerful tool. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so changing the conversation, changing like it's like the tone of voice. Yeah, exactly. The words you're using, the energy you're directing
Hmm.
to your body. Um,
Yes.
can you talk more about communion? So what
Yeah.
to someone who maybe has never heard of that, what is that with
Mhm.
your body?
Um, I've asked my body to show me what it is, and it's like, okay, I've actually said this many times to my body. I feel like we speak a different language a lot of times. So I'm not getting what it is that you're showing me. So can you tell me a different way? And and then I'll get a different awareness or an energy, an idea where it's like, oh, okay, let's try this. Sometimes my body is very clear and I'll get the message like, and I'm a lot of times like, oh, I wonder where I have been ignoring my body. So my body will get louder. When I ignore her and she's trying to tell me something, it gets louder and louder until I can't ignore it any longer. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, right. And then it's, hey, body, I'm sorry. I've overridden you. I've ignored you. So I have those kinds of conversations where it can seem kind of weird, like that I'm saying, hey, body, I'm really sorry, but it has been since I've done that, life changing, honestly,
Wow.
truly life changing, where I have so much more peace and ease with my body. And, it's not to say that I am perfect because I sure as heck am not. And when I get frustrated, like last night, my body was yelling at me to go to bed. And it was very early, and I don't normally do that. And it's like, okay, body, whatever you're telling me, I'm just going to do it. So I went to bed. And as I was walking to the bedroom, I had a lot of pain, which I haven't had in a long time. And I started to get frustrated. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. Whatever that is, it's all okay. It doesn't have to be anything significant, or like maybe your body's just giving you signals to go to bed, you know? Oh, okay. And I woke up today, no pain. And it was like, wow, I actually got a lot of sleep, which I don't normally do. So like, okay, this is great. But look at and then celebrating that I listened.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And so that's part of, for me, the communion. It's like learning how to hear what my body is showing me and telling me. So that's all part of it. And yes, I still have a lot to learn and explore, but it's so much more ease than it used to be. And I don't have that self-hatred anymore, which is wonderful to have that be out of my universe. Yeah.
Yeah. For you and your magical body.
Yes, exactly.
I
Exactly.
yeah, I'm so grateful you shared even that example last night with the pain. Do you, I know
Hmm.
I used to make pain in my body really wrong.
Yeah.
Like it's a sign of weakness or it's slowing
Mhm.
me down was probably the biggest because I just wanted to go fast all the time. I'm like Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm like, I gotta go fast. I gotta go fast. Like, you're
Yeah.
slowing me down right now with this pain. Um,
Yeah.
how have you been able to like flip that? Have you been able to like what is your awareness
Mm.
around pain with bodies? I would love to talk about that.
Mm. Wow. A lot. And yes, I have learned how to flip it a lot. Um, and I still can sometimes get frustrated with my body. Uh, and then it's, hey, body, like, what are you showing me? And learning how aware our bodies are. I never knew that. I didn't know that our bodies are giving us information 24/7. Now I know my body will give me information about the weather. My body will tell me when it's going to rain. I'm like, oh, here we come. We must be having rain soon. Well, how I don't know how or why, but I know now that there'll be certain signs that my body will show me, like all of a sudden my knees will start hurting.
Yeah.
Like, yep, okay, it's gonna start raining. And it's all right. So it's if we allow ourselves to get the information that our bodies are showing us without getting mad, without getting frustrated, and just be like, okay, I'm getting some information here. Is this message for me? Is this information for me? Is it just that I'm receiving something? And many, many, many times I'm just receiving information. And it's like, okay, is there anything that is required here of me? Do I need to do anything with this? Or is it just information? It's like when you're at a party and you're hearing all these different conversations. Does that mean you have to do anything with all the conversations you're hearing? Like, yeah, no, you're just hearing it. So learning that. And then so that's been a big, big, big help to be our bodies are sensory, like amazing organisms. And, like you said earlier, without our bodies, we wouldn't be able to feel, like the soft skin and the sun on our face. And like, so it's how much more can we be grateful for our bodies? And I look at everything that my body that I have put through my body. That's when I really start saying, oh my gosh, body, I am so sorry. So sorry. Um, and I look at all of that and I'm so grateful that my body doesn't give up on me.
Hmm.
And that's when I realized that she never judges me. I've judged the heck out of her, but she's just like has no point of view. And it's like, all right, let's go. Like, okay, all right, and for that, it's been such a beautiful gift to not be judged by
Wow.
my body. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's where it just like bring me to tears. Like, thank you, body. Yeah.
Yeah, our bodies are never like, "Ugh, you chose a bad relationship again, or look at
Right.
not getting your money right. Like,
Hmm.
we always wish that we would have friends or family, and some of us are lucky enough to have that, but some of us aren't. We don't have people in our lives that don't judge us.
Hmm.
You do have your body that never judges any choice
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
make. Cool. And I just want to point out,
Mm.
you're like through this whole time you've been being this energy with your body that is just so nurturing. It's
Oh,
I
yeah.
would describe it as like you are nurturing your body and your body is nurturing you. Like that's that
Yes.
union that you keep talking about. um
Yes.
but what a beautiful invitation for anyone listening or watching.
Mm.
Be in this energy and just even have this podcast playing in the background to kind of, because it really does invite, when you're around people that have that with their bodies, it invites you to be more of that with your body, even if you don't cognitively get it, even if you're like, I don't really understand
Yes.
exactly how that works.
Yes.
Yeah. And
So
and
true.
speaking like I loved, I want to highlight this that you said, is it for me? So we think
Mhm.
everything that shows up in our body absolutely must be for us. But I love that you were like, okay, like feeling pain in your body, is this information even for me? What a great question.
Yeah. I thank you.
Like,
Oh, yeah. Or
yeah,
did I get somebody else's mail in my mailbox? You
yeah,
know?
mine, this is my mail? No, okay. I don't need
Yeah.
to do anything about it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
true.
Like
And
I
I
go,
didn't know that that was a possibility, is for sure. Well, everything I feel, it's got to be mine. And then realizing actually, no.
actually, no.
So
Yeah,
that's a huge gift.
wow.
Huge.
When my
Yeah.
kids were younger, because like, you know, they're learning how to communicate, and they wouldn't always like realize when they were hungry. And my body would get hungry
Hmm.
and I would eat and it wouldn't go away, and I would eat and it wouldn't go away. And it took a while for me to realize, I'm like, oh, body, you're telling me that they're hungry. Like,
Yeah.
so that's, but even to look at
Yeah.
pain is such a great one, and just to be like, is this, because we know the tool, and I've talked about on the show a lot, and we can put a link into who does it belong to. I don't want to totally get into that right now, but to even
Mhm.
go, is this information? Because if everything coming in her body is information, is this even for me?
Right.
That's so brilliant, and I think could really help unlock a lot of people out of where we then make it ours, we solidify it, we build a structure around it. Um, and then the other piece here is just acknowledging how miraculous is it to have a body that can give you information 24/7.
Yes.
It can tell you when the weather is changing. We might not
Yes.
think that's super valuable right now because we're in a house and we have temperature
Hmm.
control, but how valuable would that have been back in the scavenger days, back in when
Hmm.
storm coming is a risk, right? Like
Hmm.
it could be detrimental to your farm, to your life. And
Hmm.
here we go. We're so annoyed by this, but really, isn't that part of what the body's job is? To provide
Hmm.
information. And how miraculous is it that your body could tell the future? Your body could tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you got a crystal ball and then we get mad at it.
Right. Oh, that's so true. Right. Yeah. Thank you, body, for telling me the future.
Tell me the future. What other magic, if
I
we're gonna,
love that.
yeah, to the joy and the magic of your body. Are there any other little highlights you could share with us of magic you've kind of uncovered with your body?
Oh, wow. Well, I would say in the last few months, I was getting a lot of messages from my body that I had kind of gone to some unconscious eating behaviors, and my body was showing me she wasn't really happy with it. So it's like, all right, body, show me what you would like me to, be putting in my mouth. And because I kind of got a, not kind of, I definitely had a virus that was pretty tough on me. And I was so as I was recovering from that, I was looking at how flattened out I was, felt extremely weak, and I was like, oh my God, it was a rough one. And I was like, okay, body, what are you showing me here? But like, how can I make this a learning experience, and how can I make my body stronger from this? And I just looked at all of that and was like, okay, what are you putting in your mouth? What can you change about what you're putting in your mouth? So I got a lot of really good information that just like came through. And when I get this information now, I don't ignore it.
Mm.
Right. It's like, okay, you've asked, you may not exactly like the answers, and let's see what happens if you follow what your body's asking you for. And so as I was following it, I had a period of time where I didn't feel so good, where my body was doing some different things digestive wise that wasn't really fun. I was like, all right, hang in there. It's like it very clearly got the message I was healing from the inside out. And
Wow.
I was changing like molecular and cellular structures. I'm like, okay, this is weird. I've never had this kind of information before, but okay. And now it's 4 months later, and I feel so much stronger than I did. And it's like every day, it's okay, a little bit stronger, a little bit more, a little bit. And then, like, seeing where I am now, like, wow, I was really sick. Okay, I didn't even know I was that sick because, like, okay. And so from that, it's thank again, looking at the magic that our bodies are and how they really can restructure everything if you will give your body the chance and the opportunity to grow and change and give you information. And so I'm like, okay, body, what's next? Where are we going? How much stronger can we get? And stronger, faster, more fluidity. And so that's what I keep asking for. So like ease and strength and joy. And so in that, like everything is changing yet again.
Love it.
It's just like, thank you, body.
Yeah. Wow. And I would have to say, like, that takes some trust. Yeah.
Mm,
Because here you are going, okay, what do you need? And then it's like this, and then you're following what it needs, and you feel either worse or you feel like something come up that's never come up before. Most people would go, okay, clearly messed up. I clearly didn't hear it.
yes.
And they back away, but you kept going.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. When
Thank you.
what would you say got you to that place? I'm sure a million steps, but any
Yeah.
like little tidbits of to actually get where you're trusting your body and you're also trusting your awareness of the communication. Is that just
Mm.
practice or something else?
Yeah, I would say practice and trust yourself and trust that you know way more than you think you know. Like seriously. And when you allow yourself to receive information, you will. And that's where like trusting your gut. And I used to like I would know something, but then I would discount it and be like, oh, that can't be right. And I would allow other people to dissuade me from what I knew. And then every damn time it would kick me in the butt. And then I would be mad at myself that I wasn't like, see, I knew that. Like now, like, no, I don't do that anymore. So it's like, trust what you know what is what's going to work for you. You know it's true for you, even if it makes zero sense to anybody else around you. You innately know. And then that's where, like, having that trust and that faith in you and build on that is what it's like, yeah. And then when things show up, like what I just described. And then it's like, yeah, like celebrate, right? That you actually have that gift, that and that innate knowing. And then how can I create even more with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool question. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, wow. And I just want to like point out where the way you're talking about it is a continuous question with your body,
Hmm.
like um being present with it and in this nurturing communion. It's just so beautiful to actually like, yeah, because when you let go of that answer and you started to really like explore on this adventure with your body,
Hmm.
then you have, yeah, you had that trust. I imagine going on you're traveling with someone and maybe you like, I don't really know you very well because you've been ignoring.
Yeah.
And you're building up that trust, like to really know that they know where they're going and you know where, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, as we wrap up this beautiful conversation, I'm just tapping into like all the people, all the listeners and the bodies listening and the beings. Um, and is there anything else that you would want to share with them? Like someone just, they're struggling, maybe they're in pain, maybe they're fed up with their body.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say? What would you like to share with them?
Well, I would say like give your body a hug. Like, give your body a hug, and and like I said earlier, you know so much more than you realize you know. And what is one thing that you could celebrate about you today? Like, and where could you create something new if you'd like to with your body? And so in that, there are there's been so many tips and tools that we've talked about in today. And, there's so many amazing um, people and references and possibilities out there in the world for us and our amazing bodies. So, like, if we could walk away with one more gift, it's like, what is the gift of you that maybe you've never acknowledged?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you guys want more with Betsy, we're just going to tease you a minute. She's creating something, but we don't know what it is yet. It's more with body magic. She has obviously so much to share on this topic and other topics. I know that you talk about a whole slew of topics. We've talked about kindness. We talked about so many things, but we're going to have links if you want to, talk more with Betsy, if you want to learn more what she's up to. We're all waiting on pins and needles for the body creation to come. And thank you and your body for being here and sharing so vulnerably your journey and the magic that's shown up for you. I'm so grateful.
Well, I would just add, like, thank you for using that word vulnerability, because like I'm still discovering what that is. And it's, right. And it's the more I'm willing to talk about it and like lower my barriers to, all of my own judgments about all the things that I've done wrong in my life with my body and all the abuse that I have piled on myself. And the more I can talk about it, the more ease it actually is giving me with my body. So, and that was kind of a surprise that I didn't know was there. So it's like, how many barriers had I put up to myself? So as I'm lowering those barriers and I'm willing to be vulnerable and even say, body, I am sorry. I have effed up so much with you. And I'm so sorry. And like I said earlier, there's no judgment there from my body. And it's like, the first time I realized that, I was in shock. Like, how can you not be judging me, body? I'm the most horrible person in the world. And it's like, nope, no judgment. Like, wow, okay. So what is my body showing me here? What can I learn? So, Cassy, I am so grateful for this conversation and your invitation and the gift that you are to so many people in the world. Thank you for you, and thank you for being.
Thank you. I want to hug your body.
I know.
And thank you everyone for joining us.
Yes.
Next episode. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world.